What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I'm back with my own new review of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So we start off with Drew. She had a small scene to work out and to come up with an event for everybody to celebrate their weight loss journey. Sanya, I keep saying Sonya had a conversation with her sister about talking to her husband about not having any more children. I want to set up a private dinner to talk about it, right? Because he's been doing a lot of traveling. She never expected for him to travel this much, and she's doing it all by herself, raising their son, and he wants more children, but she doesn't want any more children. We are so busy. We have a lot going on, and I don't want to have another kid. I'm tapped out. And since the first time he wasn't there physically or emotionally, I feel like I'm going to be doing all over again and him not being here the second time around. And even though she's in a house full of people, I don't think she has the same amount of support as we think she do. Now, she loves being a mother, but she also loves being a career-driven woman. She wants to have that balance, being a wife, a mother, and a career woman. And I want my husband to understand that. And, I mean, he's not pausing his life. He's not taking time to prioritize his scheduling to make her life better. No. So why should I do all of me sacrificing my opportunities because you want to have another baby? Are you not understanding what makes me feel? So her sister can see what she's going through, but her husband hasn't seen that yet. So that's what she wants her to do. So then we see Sheree. Sheree and Marlo have a sweat sauna day, and they want to confront Candy about how she hasn't been showing up as a friend. Candy come arriving looking cute, not about to get her hair all frizzed up, but she already know what time she on and what time they on, and she's not here for the bullshit. So she talked about being on set for a la carte. She had a sex scene, didn't know it was a sex scene on the first day, even though her character has a sex scene coming up, didn't know it's on the first day. So now they want to talk about how she hasn't shown up. And Sheree's going on about how they had a lot of years. You know, I miss that, picnics, Thanksgiving, all that type of stuff. And I wish that my friend would check up on me with what I was dealing with, meaning Tyrone. Candy said, I was waiting for you to tell me that information. And Sheree, how many times do you want somebody to go ahead and call to you and say, oh my God, are you okay? Girl, you're so much worth. No. Put a mantra on your mirror, say a mantra to yourself, and move the fuck on, Sheree. Ain't nobody gonna baby you and coddle you over you getting stood up by Tyrone next to a heat lamp in Philly. We're not about to keep on making, no. And you're not about to place Candy as someone who did not give you that support. You've received support from everybody else. What makes it so important that you received from Candy? Girl, bye. And then Marlo wants to bring her 2 cents in about how being a foster child that I didn't receive love. You can mess with that bullshit because you're not in the foster care system anymore, Marlo. You're a grown-ass woman and you still don't know how to be a friend to nobody. But you expect for Candy to be a friend to you. And just a couple episodes ago, both you and Sheree were canoodling and talking shit about Kenya and Candy, calling them hoes, how they ran through Hollywood and shit like that. Fucking miss me how Candy do nothing for the community. Fucking miss me with that shit, Marlo. None of y'all are friends. You and Sheree are not friends to nobody. Fucking miss me with that shit. Then Marlo brings up her conversation with her sister, how it was an emotional conversation. Did you know what I went through? Kenny said I didn't know what you was going through, but I give you what you give to me. I'm not about to pause my life to be like, oh my God, what they doing? Hell no. They know how busy I'm working. Phone works both ways. If you think that I'm not showing up, I'm going to need to do the same to you. You're not showing up for me either. So it's just all bullshit from that point. It got annoying. And then, you know, Candy's talking about how her family is coming at her about her not coming around more. And Marlo said, okay, well, if your family is telling you you need to come around more and we're telling you you need to show up more, then maybe you're the problem. No, that's not it. Do you not see how hard Candy works? She is everywhere. Everywhere, taking care of everything and everybody. So they need to be more understanding because that's her family. I do know what she does to make sure they're good, and she will work it out. But for y'all, I'm not about to pause my life for you because you're not going to do the same for me. You can miss me with that shit. Now, I know they edited that conversation because that's when Candy got really frustrated. Her voice started to shake and quiver. And she said, I tried to be supportive. I had tried being there for you. I did a lot for y'all, but y'all don't do the same to me. So now they want to go over there and hug her and not make her feel bad. But I know that Candy is mostly crying out of frustration and anger. She's not crying because they don't think she's being there. No, she knows that I've been there for y'all. Y'all just don't do the same for me. And y'all know y'all don't because obviously Sheree and Marlo have made an alliance to come and attack Candy at any means necessary, because Marlo is definitely feeling herself for getting that peach, but she's using it for the wrong reasons. She is not doing it right. And Sheree, this must be your last time on this show, because look at you. You fucking up. Ain't got nothing to show for it after that. I know you not. Then Sheree wants to say, I didn't expect you to become a yes man, but I did not expect her to have a temper tantrum. Says the girl who been crying like a damn brat because nobody else is giving her, oh my God, are you okay? I'm so sorry about Tyrone. Girl, fuck it and get over it, okay? In your age, you should have known what to expect when you put your life on pause for an inmate. Girl, good night. Candy was annoyed. She had the right to be. They drained her to the point of no return with their bullshit. Moving on. So, Sonya, she is prepping dinner for her husband, a nice salmon dinner. And we see her son calling her. He's being a brat. He's being bad. Talking about, Mommy, I'm hungry. Mommy, I want my fries. And she really wants to have a private time with her husband because she enjoys making things for him. But Sonya can't cook. She didn't even think to season both sides of the salmon, and she doesn't take the skin off, and she doesn't even know how the burners work in her kitchen. If her mother wasn't there, she would have burned everything. So now her mother has taken her son upstairs to keep him occupied. She was able to get everything all placed nicely. She had wine ready. She put on a pretty dress and wants to have a private dinner, right? So she gets emotional because she's talking about what she's been thinking and what she's going through. So they have a show for a business back in Texas, but they were supposed to bring that business to Atlanta. Now he's driving down, flying down to Texas more often, even more than a month he's been down there, and never expected for him to be gone that much. And she's stuck at home, taking care of her son by herself. So she's wanting to be home more. Now he's starting to feel like, oh, I did not expect for me to feel like this. I thought that, when I play sports, you would give me encouragement, you would give me support, and now I'm moving on to being a business owner. I thought I would receive the same support. Now it's like, oh shit, you having a problem. I didn't think that me leaving would have been the issue. But it's not just you leaving, it's the fact you're leaving her with no support. Because you keep talking about wanting more children, but she's handling everything on her own. And I never expected for you to be gone this much. And realistically, we don't need to have any more children. We are super busy. I know dream-wise, we wanted to have more than one. But right now, in the way that we're going, how busy, I don't think we should have any more children. So what he heard was, I thought that I was doing something positive for our family, but now I'm hearing that my wife can't even have a child. But she's doing it by herself. I mean, yes, she has everybody in her family living with her, but they have their own lives. They have their own thing going on. They're not about to put their life on hold or a moment to help Sonya. No. So you guys should definitely have a conversation about incorporating a nanny. And she's stressing herself out. She don't have the support that we think she do. And when he heard that, he didn't even think of prioritizing how often he's traveling to Texas. He's not even thinking, okay, babe, I hear you. I know the first time I wasn't there, and I know how that made you feel, but this time I'm going to be hands-on. I'm going to hire more people down in Texas. I'm going to figure out a way to set up something here so that way I could be there for you. He's not even thinking that because he's not changing his mind. He's not letting up on what he wants, but come on now. We are already dealing with the aftermath of the overturning of Roe versus Wade, of a woman's choice. Now, this is also Sonya's choice. I do not want to have more children. How it was the first time, I'm having an anxiety attack right now about how it's going to happen the second time. Do you not know how much it goes through a woman's body and mind about having children? A lot. A lot. And if you're not even there, that's going to make her feel like she's a single married woman. It's not going to feel good, Ross. You need to be understanding of that. Because she asked him, do you think you'll resent me if I don't have another child? He said he honestly don't know. But that's Sonya's worst fear, though. Because she doesn't want to feel like she has to do it. Because then in return, that might be a way for her to resent the baby. She might treat the child differently. And that's not going to be good. And Ross, you need to talk about it. Because come on now. Are you really going to change the way you move in to help Sonya? Because you want her to drop everything to have more children. But you're not changing your ways either. That's not going to be fair. Because I went through that same thing. I told my husband, if we are at a position where we can have more children, we can. Because we went through a lot with our son. And we were trying to get our finances in order to, move to a bigger place. And if We do not have any more children by the time my son turns 5. I'm not finna do a huge age gap. I'm not about to have any more kids. Will you resent me if I make that decision? He said he will, but he knows how I resent myself because I know I wanted 2 children, a boy and a girl, and be done. He wanted 2 children, a boy and a girl, and be done, right? But I felt like, is it the right decision? But I looked in my heart, I prayed to God, I put my faith in and said, you know what? We made it through with our son. We're going to make it through with this baby. And we end up having my baby girl in the pandemic. And I don't regret it. So our family is complete. But I do know that that type of conversation needs to be had. Because it could be a good outcome or a bad outcome. And I'm praying for a good outcome for Sonya and Ross. I am. But I'm going to move on from there. So then it was a quick scene with Sheree. She's on the phone with her new hired business manager, a woman, and trying to get all of her collections and samples for She by Sheree. She's going to put all of her effort, all of her mind into it. And she wants to be hands-on with everything, getting the material, going to manufacturers, the warehouse, getting everything. Don't want to be one of those people who just slaps their name on things and sells them. Don't know who that was towards, but that's what she doesn't want to do. Marlo's at her lay archive. She's showing her husband. She's showing her nephews how to clean up and straighten things. But ever since their phone call from their mother, they've been acting bad. Not cleaning, not straightening up, not listening. So she wants to keep them busy. Then Marlo talked about her first jobs, working at McDonald's, the car wash, Wet Seal. And then they have an older sister named Jasmine. She lives in a whole nother state. She's 27. Marlo had a conversation with her about did she talk to their mother. She said no. I think more conversation was had and that maybe she's going to take the opportunity to go see her mother. And of course, it's the same thing that Marlo's been saying. She doesn't want her nephews to go through the same thing that she went through, which is not receiving the love from her mother. Okay. Candy. Kenya and Marital arrive at a candle shop. And Marital is a newlywed. She just got married. Candy arrived at the wedding. She thought she was there on time, but as soon as she walked in, they were doing the walk down the aisle music. I'm like, oh, wow, Candy, you just made it. You were late. And she knows Marital from her being with Neo, but they've had a lasting friendship since then. And then Candy talked about how her foundation was going. You know, she had Thanksgiving meals. And Marital helped her at the event. That's when Kenya tells Candy about how Marlo got offended that Candy was giving her used clothes for her charity and that she wasn't a good friend. And of course, Candy brings up how Marlo and Sheree came at her about how I don't show up as a friend, I don't give back, I don't do a lot. And both Kenya and Marital said, are you serious? That is way far from the truth than what it is. This girl shows up. Candy cares for a lot of people. She shows up. And Kenya said, you know what? She does, because when I was on Dancing with the Stars, she was on her live for 2 hours waiting for me. That's true friendship. And that's the truth, though. Candy has a lot of heart for everybody. It's just Sheree and Marlo who don't have anything going on and wants to use Candy as their target audience, as their storyline. And she already knows it, and Marlo is starting a hate campaign against Candy. So then they receive invites for Drew's workout event, and now, of course, they're not really believing it's a legitimate company, but they're going to go and support. And then Marital had a good honeymoon. It was a great time. And Candy gifted her some of her bedroom candy to use for her honeymoon. And did you use them, girl? Yes, I did, girl. I did use them. And that's when Kenya and Candy had a conversation about the toys, right? So Kenya starts off with how the toys came about. When Safari and Patrick gifted them the bedroom, the vibrating panties. You know, Safari had the dominatrix outfit. And even though the underwear was for, you know, self purposes only, it's still within that information that if somebody got too close, somebody's husband could be vibrating my underwear. And that wasn't right. Marital was like, oh, I was on your side till I heard that part. So it went back and forth. You see the worker lady who's in charge of the candles coming up left and right. Okay, I see you guys have your scents. How about you guys go here? You can use these little dewdrops as well. Coming back every time, right? They go back and forth. And Candy wants Kenya to be like, girl, don't be prim and proper because you know how you be. Kenya wants Candy to understand that was an inappropriate time to use those types of gifts. But they went a lot of back and forth because then it brought up how Cynthia's engagement party, Kenya talked about 3 ladies at that table that could get it, and one of them was Candy, right? So she felt like it was no difference. You trying to act all prim and proper and prudish when we all know you got a freaky side, right? I was like, come on, Candy. We can't use that. It was just at that moment. Maybe that was the point where, Kenya was being free from Mark and she wanted to be a little bit more funny, a little bit more loose. I don't know. But I just thought of it as a difference of opinions. Wow. Everybody has a freaky side. Some people don't want to show it that often. The whole vibrating panties, even though it was a choice of whether or not you want to use them or not, you didn't have to wear them in front of everybody. You could have worn them in your hotel room. And Candy, you need to understand difference of opinions, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt like it was 2 differences of opinions that it didn't need to be more than what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like I wrote, you're not going to feel like Candy felt the way that she said you can get it with a threesome. I felt like, Candy, you felt a way about that. I don't think you did. Kenya, I understand your reasoning of not wanting to wear vibrating panties. But it was a choice. You didn't want to wear them. That's totally fine. But I love the fact that both of them can disagree and move forward, because that's what friends do. We don't always have to have the same mindset, the same viewpoints on things. We can just say, you know what, I didn't like it and you didn't like it, so we're going to move on from there. That's totally fine. I understood both sides, though. I good. And the way that Marlo doesn't like hearing difference of opinions, because that's not what that's a friend is. If I can't give you my opinion about how I'm feeling and you don't take it and understand it, then we don't need to be friends. That's not a friend. Well, I don't want to be tight with you if you want to go around calling me out to be not a bad friend. You can miss me with that. So then Candy's candy was ready, and it was called Candy's Pussy. You finally got to smell it. It was hilarious. I love the fact that Kenya and Candy were able to laugh about it, because it was funny. It's not even that serious, not that deep. So we see Drew. We're at the Drop It With Drew event. She wanted to show everybody that it's 100% legitimate business. She wears herself to be 157. That was wrong. It's 156. That was right. I've been there, Drew. I'm still doing that. I look at a number like, that's the wrong number. Let me try again. That's more accurate. Candy and Manetta come in with their husbands. I think Candy weighed herself to be 155 or 156. She said that was wrong. Manetta was 169, but both Manetta and Candy look amazing. I think Candy said she did Drop It With You before, but it was a different place. Because it was 3 days ago, it was a fat loss camp. So now it was a whole different facility with a big picture of Drop It With Drew. So she's like, I don't know about this. So Sonya, Marlo, and Sheree are all driving up together. And Sonya was surprised that she got an invite and thought she was going to receive the same treatment that Sonya did to Drew. Well, that's not the type of person Drew is. She really is trying to be nice to everybody, while you purposefully want to create an issue for no reason. Marlo told Sonya, I would have been petty and not invited your ass either. But that would have been a whole different issue, right? So then Marlo, Sonya, and Sheree come in. Marlo is clearly ignoring Candy, and Candy knows it. She gonna walk past me not say nothing? That's fine. And then we see Sheree. We know Sheree has a banging body. So she walks in with these leggings that make her ass look great. And it's a prototype for her She by Sheree products, or She by Sheree leggings. She has her water bottle, her yoga mat. And these are just prototypes. And, everybody was like, what is that, girl? Are those the She by Sheree leggings? Girl, when can I get a pair? I don't want a pair. Oh, they'll be coming with a website soon. So her leggings and her water bottles and yoga mats will all be coming to a website near you. SheBySheree.com coming up soon. And then under her confessional, the shady producers had to write available spring, summer, September, fall. Which is the truth. She can never give an exact date and time of when her things will drop. If her stuff don't drop by the end of this season, then she never wanted to do it in the first place. That's all I'm going to say. So Sonya wanted to talk to Ralph, of all people, to see if she can get his perspective, and maybe she can get his reasoning as to why I don't want to have another kid. Like, I don't know why you wanted to talk to Ralph, of all people. What's he going to give you? And why would you talk to Ralph? You're not even in a good space with his wife. Why would you talk to her husband? So, just another explanation as to why I don't want to have a kid. We're super busy. What's up with that? And Ralph said, okay, we got 3. And we're super busy. Y'all got one. But then, of course, it's just going back and forth with the reason. What is the reason? What's the excuse? Make sure you're not doing it for the wrong reasons. This, and that, and the third. And it's just the whole thing about maybe seeing what you guys can come up with. Like, what's the reason why you don't want to have kids? And what's the reason why you do want to have kids? But she just feels like, I want compromise. I want understanding. Like, I don't see him putting his life on hold. I don't see him slowing things down. But why do I have to slow things down for him? He's not doing it for me. That's all I want. I want both of our choices and both of our voices to be heard. That's what I want. So Marlo came in. She was weighed 188. Sheree was 170. When Drew announced that she was 166 or something, it was hilarious. So now Marlo wants to acknowledge Candy and how she's heard that you guys were having conversations about me, which I said about me. I heard y'all had a lot to say about me. They want to know, where was Kenya at? What did Kenya say? Kenya wasn't here yet, but she said, first of all, we'll talk about this later. I just know my name was brought up in conversation. Let's not take away from Drew's event, and we can move forward and come back, all right? So they get started. One person was awarded a award, congratulations, and a trophy because she lost 100 pounds in 50 weeks. That's amazing. Then Todd received a phone call, a disturbing phone call, and he had to walk out. He told Candy to get her stuff, right? So the phone call was a man masquerading as a delivery driver came in and hopped the gate or something. And Katrina, a friend who's watching their children, didn't recognize him and sent him on his way and called the police. When she recognized that he wasn't an Amazon delivery, she called the police. They are headed home right now to check on their children because they don't know who this guy is. We're going to get back into that. So let me go ahead and continue. So the workout was intense. They're doing all types of workouts, and everybody can't keep up. Marlo, who don't work out, gets lipo, wants to bring Drew in and let me do it like lipo. Let me do what Drew did, right? Sheree, we know, is a fitness girl, but then she makes a comment about Drew can't even keep up and how Drew has a horrible mommy makeover and looking like a busted can of biscuits. And I'm like, Sheree, what are you doing? Why are you coming at Drew like that? What did Drew do to you? I thought you guys squashed your issues. Why are you coming at Drew about her body? Drew's body is gorgeous. Okay, she's not in the shape as you are in, but that doesn't mean she can't receive it. Hell, she don't have nothing to do like you. Drew actually has something going on. Just because all you do is sit around in your Fendi pajamas all day with a face full of makeup, bored out of your mind, don't make comments about Drew's body. That's not cool, Sheree. Shut the hell up. Kenya finally comes in looking cute, and she had to go to her daughter's open house for school, right? So now they meet Drew's business partner, where they get a full insight, a full understanding as to what it is with Drop It With Drew. Now, her business partner, Jackie, already had a fitness program called 21 Day. And she had it for 5 years. They have a whole lot of different locations, but they wanted to reach the Atlanta market. So they wanted to reach out to somebody, and they got connected with Drew to be the face of the brand. Now, everybody was like, now it makes sense. Now you are a face of a workout program. You are partnered with somebody who had a business, and you're just now connecting to them on the Atlanta market. Cool. Makes sense. Got it. I thought Drew said in the beginning that she was approached to be a face of it, and maybe that's where it got left out later. Because now Sonya wants to say, okay, so you partnered with somebody with a fitness program. You didn't come up with one. You're not an entrepreneur, though. Sonya, you just said you want to move to a better place with Drew, and now you're coming down on her how she's not an entrepreneur because she partnered up with somebody who had a fitness program. Sonya is so fake. I can't. Anyway. So why was the name changed? Was it because of Drew? And yes, it was because of Drew. But Jackie's not getting a chance to explain because Drew keeps talking. But Kenya believes it's a legitimate business, but she doesn't believe that Drew knows the business side. And she don't. She couldn't even answer a question as to how much the program cost and this and that. She can't even answer simple questions. But that's something that Drew needs to do. You can't be the face of a brand and don't know what it is. You need to have the knowledge of what it is that you're selling. So now Drew shaded, Sheree, because y'all want to groom me on my business, but yeah, we waited for 10 years for She by Sheree that's never going to come out. And here goes Sheree. Oh, you're just the face. That's all you are. Okay, but we can see the product, though, Sheree. We see Drop With You as a real thing. Where is She by Sheree? Where is it? When are you going to come out with it? You've had 10 years, and you had nothing to show for it. So, yeah, I was with Drew shading you. Because you always want to shade somebody else, but you don't have nothing to show for it either, Sheree. You can miss me. Good night. So, Manietta brings up the conversation about who was talking about Candy. That's my friend. So, who was talking about her? So, who started the conversation, right? And Marlon wants to know who said it. Who said it? And it was Kenya. She said, I was the one who said it. I brought back the report accurately. And then Marlon said, but you know, it wasn't just me. It was Sheree too. Okay, but she wasn't focused on Sheree. She was focused on you because she's not fucking with you. That's the thing. And then here go Marlo. Oh my God, am I going to die? Am I going to die if I'm not being friends with Candy? Yes, you will. Yes, you will. You will die. You're going to make a whole lot of comments and want to be kissing her ass. Right. Watch, you will. So basically, Kenya's picking up on how Candy's feeling and about how Kenya's feeling, because you guys have both been coming at Kenya and Candy all this time for no reason. And Marlon wants to pretend that Kenya is the one who has been acting all nice, who's been trying to uplift me. Come to find out, she's been laughing in my face, trying to be sweet, trying to be cool, and she has been just stabbing me in the back. I'm sorry, Marlo. You just stabbed Candy in the back not too long ago when you wanted to call out how Candy don't date nobody underneath her tax bracket and Kenya slept with half of Hollywood. You always go for somebody's pussy miles as if you don't have any of your own. Girl, bye. Marlo wants to be fake and said, can you teach me how to be a friend, Kenya? Kenya said, you don't know how to be one. I know, let me know. And here go Marlo. Can't take it when somebody calls out how much of a not so much friend she is. She wants to go below the belt and bring up Mark. How's Mark? How's the relationship? How's your fake butt? All that for no reason. And Kenya said, that's the Marlo we know. The real Marlo has come to the surface. They go back and forth. Kenya says she's perfect. Marlo talked about her bad makeup, which is not. She got her lips done. No, she didn't, Marlo. Just don't be mad that Kenya's a natural beauty, though. Don't be mad. Don't be mad, okay? And that's what Kenya's talking about. You always go backwards. You always go backwards. Whenever we try to move forward, you do something to fuck it up and we go backwards. Learn how to speak to people, okay, Marlo? And Marlo wants to say, learn how to keep a man. Here go Kenya. I'm happy for it. Where's your man, Marlo? She said, I don't want one. Girl, bye. Yes, you do. You found a man who belittled you, and you stay with him anyway. And you know what I did? And I have a beautiful child at the end of it. And I thank you for that. Yes, I stood 10 toes down for a man who treated me like shit, but I got a beautiful daughter out of it. And what? And what? Marla goes below the belt. Why would you bring up her marriage, which led to her having Brooklyn? That's fucked up, Marla. Oh, I swear to God. I swear to God. That was so wrong of Marlo to say. And Marlo keeps going below the belt, talking about, if Mark knew what you were doing, he would have said you were perfect. You're perfect, right? And then Marlo walked up on Kenya. Walked up. Kenya is, her hands was right in Marlo's face, inches away. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. They separate her. You gonna walk up on me? You pitiful little hoe. That's what Kenya said to Marlo. And here go Marlo. She was in glee. She's getting in her face and said, hey, next time I talk, I'm just gonna have my hands behind my back. That's what I'm gonna do. That's all I'm gonna do. I didn't like the fact that Sonya and Sheree were like giving Marlo a pat on the back about her keeping her restrained or keeping her hands behind her back as if she wasn't the one that was provoking Kenya. She was the one that provoked her. She was the one who went below the belt for no fucking reason. Because Kenya called Marlo's card. Kenya called what Marlo do. And Marlo couldn't take it. And Marlo wants to go back and keep getting into Kenya's face. Don't walk up on me. Like we said, don't walk up on me. You can get fucked up. Keep on walking up on me. Get out my view and get fucked up. Don't do it. She's a fucking loser, okay? And Marlo is fucking delusional. She says that Kenya be coming for her. She hasn't tried to uplift her. I don't have nothing to do with her. Marlo, go to hell. You always bring up somebody else negative. You did the same thing when it came down to Sheree's makeup session. You did not believe that Kenya was sick and all this and that and the third. Like I said, you keep calling them a hoe and shit like that. You could fucking miss me with that shit. And Sheree, you co-sign on that shit. You didn't even say nothing. You sat there and let Marlo come at somebody who you call a friend. I thought you had a better friendship with Kenya. Never mind, you ain't friends with her either. And they just keep going back and forth. She called Marlo an ugly bitch, and I'm a fucking perfect Barbie doll. And Kenya said, listen, we could go at it all day, but don't walk up on me because you're going to have a problem. Don't get in my face. Marlo's delusional. She told Manietta that she will never talk about your mother, your husband, and your child. Thank you, Bravo, for the bean footage. 5 years ago, you made a comment that Kenya's mother didn't want her. 3 years ago, you made a comment that Kenya wasn't pregnant. Just 10 minutes ago, you brought up her ex-husband. Marlo, go to hell. Marlo is fucking delusional. Right? Marlo is so fucking delusional. It's not even funny. It's also scary. And Marlo needs to receive help. How much hurt she has. Because for you to go after Kenya when all she did was call your card and you can't handle it, girl, there's a lot that people can say about you. It's a whole lot. You got mugshots. You are an escort allegedly. You still milking old men out their life insurance money. You got your sister who rather rot in a jail cell because of her mental illness and to receive help to raise her own children. Girl, there's a whole lot to be said about you. You really don't want to open that door because people will make your feelings. Oh, people will hurt your feelings. You don't want to go through that door, Marlo. You better be glad that Kenya is not that type of girl that fought all those years ago. You better be glad. Oh, Sheree, this type of friend you want to have? You such a fucking follower, Sheree. Ain't nothing good gonna come out of you being friends with Marlo. Good riddance. Good night and goodbye. I'm gonna move on. So we back with Candy and Todd. They're talking to the police and they want to check on their children and check on Katrina, right? So she told them, you need to leave the property. I don't know you. And she showed the video footage. This man said that he was Beyonce's family member, a songwriter, and he was told to talk to Candy Burris. And he has to talk to her because he was one of T.I.'s children. And if he came any closer to the property, he would have been arrested on sight. I don't know what was going on in that boy's mind. I don't know if he was an extreme fanatic that went on the line of being a stalker, because that's scary. And he needs to receive help because that wasn't funny. That was scary as hell. But I'm mostly happy that her family and her friend is okay. So Drew thanks everybody for coming, and Drew and Sonya have a private conversation. Sonya apologized for acting the way that she did. She did not mean for it to go that way. But Drew said, I hear you, but at the same point in time, it felt like a gang up though. I could hold my own, but it didn't feel good. Sonya acknowledged it, and I will not wait for a day. I will not wait for a group. I will let you know how I feel right then and there. And then wanted to keep the friendship that their husbands are developing, right? So then Sonya, which was so crazy and it's so weird to me. Sonya, you so fucking fake. How can you just go through what you just went through to be in a bad place with Drew to now be in a space where you can tell her what's going on in your marriage? What the fuck? So she tells Drew that she don't want to have another child. And I found it so confusing as to why you would tell Drew. And then Drew said, I mean, you want to please your husband, right? Huh? Because Drew went through the same thing with Ralph. She wanted to still work, but Ralph wanted another baby. He wanted a daughter. So she put her life on hold, had the baby. Even though Drew was able to still keep working, but I do feel like at that period of time, Drew probably didn't feel the same. Drew probably didn't feel support like she don't now. Because she knew that he would resent me down the line. And we know how petty and manipulative Ralph can be. Hell, to this day, he's still manipulative and gaslights her. So there's a part of me that she probably still punishes herself for what she did. But then that's not what Sonya wanted to hear. Sonya wanted to hear, what about a woman's happiness? I don't want another child. And why can't my husband understand my point? Why can't he understand what I want? Can it be about what we both want? And why isn't my needs heard? Why isn't my needs met? But of course, Drew's in the mindset of keeping her husband happy, and you don't want your husband to resent you down the line, and it's back and forth and back and forth. It's just the pressure. And I just feel like this might not have been the right time for you to tell Drew that, because she didn't give you much advice. Because we know where mindset Drew's on. Drew would think that a baby was going to make a man happy, or her acting this way, which it wasn't. We've seen how he treated her before. But yeah, wrong person to ask for advice though, Sonya. But I am understanding that you guys both need to have another conversation about this, because it's only going to get worse from there, because it's a very tough situation though. Your husband needs to understand how you're coming from, and that's all he needs to do. While you understand how he's feeling, but if he's not giving you any changes, then there's no point in you changing your mind either. If your mind is set on not having any more kids, then he needs to be understanding of that and not pressure you and not make you feel guilty for it. because it's going to make you feel guilty. You might want to resent the baby, and that's not going to be good either. But y'all, that's all I have. I was here for Kenya getting into Marlo's ass, though. I loved it. I really wanted her to, I really want her to hit her. But y'all, that's all I have. Please stay tuned for my next video, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.